Hello and welcome back to another episode of my MotoGP 23 career mode, and today we're here for the second round of our Moto2 season for the Argentinian Grand Prix. Now if you didn't see the last episode, of course our debut in Moto2 at the Portuguese Grand Prix, I do recommend you go check that one out before we do get into this one. A bit of an up and down weekend for us. We struggled initially with pace, managed to actually get through Q1 in the session, got up into Q2, qualified, not amazingly. I think we're maybe like 11th or so. We're fighting at the front of the race for quite a bit of it, but slowly sort of dropped back through, and on the last couple of laps got mugged a little bit and dropped down to 12th place, which we were pretty disappointed with because I felt like I had much better pace than that and I rode a better race than what I think the result shows. But for this round, hopefully we should be able to bounce back, and I think we will be able to because from the little bit of testing I have done at this circuit, the AI do seem extremely slow, and in fact I'm not going to actually do qualifying for this episode because of that. So it's one of those kind of episodes where the AI seem ridiculously slow from Grand Prix, even 120%, which just makes no sense how they're so fast at somewhere like Portimao. Although to be fair, they weren't that fast there except out of a couple of key corners. They just seem to have more power and more grip. Really, on the brakes and stuff, they were terrible. But Argentina in Moto3 last year, they were unbelievable, but it seems like in the Moto2 class, they're back to how I expect them to be at Argentina and quite slow for some reason. But yeah, without any further ado, we may as well get straight into the race weekend then, and I'll see you down the grid for the race. So here we are then, down on the grid at the Argentinian Grand Prix. Now, something I didn't mention before going into this race was, of course, in the last episode, it was a bit of a topsy-turvy result because of the way the race played out. A lot of the AI were having crashes. So that means the championship is a little bit all over the place. Obviously only one round in, but usually you'd be expecting Arbolino and Acosta really to be the riders that you'd be fighting for the championship. But currently we actually have Sam Lowes, who is leading the championship, and he actually went through Q1. So ultimately today we actually have an opportunity to maybe make some ground up in the championship because some of the stronger riders are actually a bit further down the championship as well, just like I am. So we're going to have to try and make the most of that because, of course, in Moto3 last year, that's where, or last season even, obviously still on this year's game, that's where we lost the championship, basically. It was in the opening rounds where we didn't pick up that many points because in the second half of the season, we were right up there pretty much week in, week out. So we do need to make sure that we do capitalise on this one and have a good race. And to have a good race, we need to pick the right tyres. So for the tyres, we're actually going to go with a medium on the front, and I was recommended a hard on the rear, which I think is a good idea. I used a soft when I was actually testing, but I think that'll be too much. I think that'll be gone by the time we actually finish our whole race. So I think the hard tyre is the option to go with. So without any further ado, we'll get this race started and hope that we can come through from the back of the grid.
Formation lap complete, and riders are lined up on the Termas Hondo front straight. Just a few more seconds and we'll get going in the Argentine Grand Prix.
So Acosta then on pole position, Vietti actually in second place, Arbolino rounding out that front row. So those two, Acosta and Arbolino, will be looking to make up some big points here at Argentina. But we're waiting for the lights to go out here, then lights out and away we go. And it's been a good initial launch off the line. In fact, it's been a fantastic launch off the line, very much like in Portugal. Don't tell me. You've got to be joking me. Come on. I started at the back because I wanted to do a good race when I came through. Okay, well, we're in the lead of the race already. So, actually, Acosta's back through, but the inside through turn 4. Actually, turn 3, sorry. I always thought it was turn 4, but I guess it's turn 3. But Acosta's retaken the lead, but on the back straight, we're sure they can get back past him. And if we don't pass him on the straight, we'll most certainly pass him on the brakes. But can you believe that? Can you believe that? Come on. I was kind of hoping for a good race. I didn't want to just come through like that. I thought I'd have to actually fight my way through. And I've taken the lead off the line already. We're half a second in front of Pedro Acosta. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be it for this race. Unless we're in fuel trouble, which it does look like the fuel's going a little bit weird, but the AI are shockingly slow at this track for some reason. They are on 120% as well. Definitely got them set. I double checked basically to make sure. Even in my Grand Prix mode training, I didn't believe that they were on 120% and backed out and checked it, but they actually are. They just seem to be very, very slow at Termas in the Moto2 class for some reason, which is so bizarre because they were so fast in the Moto3 class, and I remember in last year's game in the MotoGP class, they were really good here, so don't know why they'd be so slow, but we already have 1 second over the whole field. And with, okay, never mind. We don't have a second over the field now. I was about to make some other comment. We've lost the front into the penultimate turn. So that's suddenly changed the race quite a lot. And we've rejoined the pack down in P17. So we're not even last after crashing, which is pretty ridiculous. 1 minute 50.2. I don't know what kind of damage would have picked up on that crash as well, because I do have damage on in the career mode, so the bike probably won't be optimal, but suddenly the race has just got much more interesting. The race is now sort of back on once again. We're down in P18, and we've got to come back through the pack all of a sudden. I didn't do that on purpose, I do promise. I genuinely made a mistake, because you probably noticed with the commentary I kind of was a bit surprised, but I'll take it, because we were miles in front already. It was probably going to be a boring race, so we'll just keep going. Small little mistake on the front end, got to watch out, but also the bike does actually feel quite a bit different, so we definitely picked up some quite heavy damage there, which may affect us for the rest of this race. So we go at the end of the back straight. Can we go around the outside of Alcoba? We can. We have to pick the bike up though, because he's still on the inside. Of fair play to him, because he's got the right for the room there. We've picked up the power a bit earlier than Jeremy. Can he hang it around the outside? Okay, we've just sort of gone into him because the bike's understeer completely. So Alcoba actually stays ahead of us for now, but around the outside again. I don't want to keep going around the outside, but when you just brake on the normal racing line, you end up on the outside. We've actually overtaken Alcoba now, so up into P17. Next up's Dalla Porta, then it's Gonzalez, and that'll put us up into the point scoring positions. And here we go to the penultimate corner, where we've just had a crash on the previous lap. These are the 3 riders there. These are the Dalla Porta, Aldeguer, and Gonzalez up into P14 then. So back up into the points. Dixon does the fastest up with a 44. We do a 44 as well, so not a massive amount quicker. But you see, we are pretty solid straights compared to ARX. Aldeguer has gained a massive amount of time on us. So look the inside we go of Bo Ben Schneider. Didn't even really have to try with that one. It's Sergio Garcia ahead of me now. And then Jake Dixon, who of course did just set the fastest lap. So it seems like the leader's pace is fairly controlled at the moment. So here we are at the end of the back straight. Oh, I've got in a bit hot. Oh, that was close. We had a little bit of contact with Dixon on the way in there. Fortunately, no harm done, but I thought it was going to wipe out Sam Lowes, who, of course, is currently the World Championship leader. And we're trying to go around the outside of Sergio Garcia now. If we can try to set this one up, we should be able to get the inside through the next turn. Oh, no, I'm on the grass. Track limits warning as well. The riding has been absolutely appalling in this episode, guys. I do apologise. We've had a crash and an off-track excursion already, but somehow we actually overtook Garcia in that. And I tell you what, we got a track limits warning, so I'm just going to keep the position because we've had a penalty for it. Normally, I'd probably give that one back, but because we've actually had the track limits warning, I guess that is the penalty. And another track limits warning immediately. This has not been a good lap for me, it must be said. I was really lazy that one as well, because the last one I was just trying to hang it around the outside, so that was a bit silly, and that one was rode off the edge of a curb. But round the outside of Dixon, round the outside of Lowes, so we've overtaken the championship leader. We've got a Renas in front of us, who I believe is in the top. Another track limits warning! Are you joking me? Come on! I think one of you made a comment in the last episode actually about all the track limits warnings I got in that one, and we're on to 3. We just got 3 on one lap. That was appalling. That was absolutely appalling. I do apologise, guys. As I was saying, that Lowes got back through. We're back up the inside of Lowes, up into the top 10 now then. And then next up is Albert Arenas, who, no, again, Lowes is back through. And again, we're back past Lowes. He's trying to hang around the outside, leaning on us a little bit. So, bit of a British battle going on here. And Lowes, for now, actually takes a position and hangs on to it. So back down to 11th for me. But what I was actually trying to say before Lowes keeps overtaking me and cutting me off was that Arenas is in the top 3 of the championship, I believe, as well. I think Canet, maybe the other one. I think those are the top 3 from the last race. And back at the inside of Lowes again we go. The rear stepped out a bit there. Hopefully this time it's the last time we have to overtake Sam, because I don't really want to keep having to overtake him. Next up is Arenas. Again, like I keep saying, I feel like I've said that about 3 or 4 times now with all the battling that's been going on. But hopefully this time we should be able to pass him quite easily. Up the inside we go of him. Can we get Chantra as well? Oh, not quite. Not quite got Chantra. But we have actually got Arenas. Again, a little bit of contact, but no, I'm done. So up to P9 now then. And we can see the race leader, Acosta. He really isn't pulling away very much. He's not very far up the road. In fact, we're catching him by a massive amount. So I'd say the win is still pretty possible here. Oh, that's just taking a bit longer than I thought. Because obviously we're leading at the end of lap 1. Well, up until around this point on lap 1. Dropped the bike. Had to fight our way back through. Up the inside of Somkiat. Up the inside of Canet. Are we going to get up the inside of Alonso Lopez as well? Or it's getting a bit close in here. But we have got up the inside of Alonso. So we're up to P6 then. So next up's Iagora, then it's Salac, Chelsea Vietti, Arbolino. No, actually it's Arbolino taking the lead, so it's actually Costa in second place now. So Arbolino might be trying to check out. We've got the inside of Iagora, up the inside of Salac as well, up the inside of Vietti, so up into P3, but we've got on the curb a little bit there. That's allowed Vietti back through and Salac as well. And now we're all over the place. Another track limits warning, so literally 1 away now from getting a long lap penalty. Again, I was trying to sort of set myself up for an outside pass on Salach. I don't think I've ever got this many track limits warnings, and in the last 2 episodes I've had 4. 4 in each race, and I don't think I had like 4 in a race at all in Moto 3, which really does show how much more difficult these Moto 2 bikes are to ride. I think it's just because I'm trying to open up the track because of the AI being a bit strange. Around the outside we go, then of Vietti and Salach. So up into P3 now then, so back up onto the podium. So next up then are the 2 guys that we're probably going to be fighting for this World Championship with, Pedro Acosta and Tony Arbolino. And hopefully we should be able to make light work of the 2 of them. Up the inside we go, of Acosta. Pretty easy there. The bike actually does feel a little bit strange into the turns, because I did have the crash on lap 1, and I feel like the front brake seems to not be dragging, but it seems like I don't really have the turning performance that I'd expect with the brake on. I know obviously you don't have as much turning performance when you've got the brake on, obviously, but usually I feel like it's quite good. I feel like the bike still turns in pretty well, but it feels like with the front brake, we're getting a bit more bite from it, and it seems to not be quite turning in as well, so it's messed me up a couple of times in this race so far. But here we go, into the penultimate turn, round the outside of Tony Arbolino, like he's standing still, up into the lead of the race once again. So we're finally retaking that spot from where we crashed. Literally at the same corner we crashed as well. New fast lap of the race, 43.3, although Arbolino, to be fair, comes back out that last corner. They do seem pretty good out of there. But there we go, back past Arbolino once again. So it definitely seems to be the 2 Mark VDS boys that have given me the hardest time so far. Lowe's and Arbolino both fighting back after I've overtaken them. But I think if we could just keep in front for the next couple of corners, we should have this one. We should be up into the lead, and that should be it, because we've got half a second now. I think that's probably game over for the AI. And we're 8 temps underneath. That's ridiculous. That's how much they were holding me up in the first sector. I mean, I've turned the power mode up a little bit just to get away from him. And actually, we're minus 0.7 in fuel, so we might have to watch out for that one. But I think that's it. I think that's probably going to be it now. 4 temps at the end of the back straight. That was the opportunity he had. And from here, I'm quite a bit better in this sector of the track, so we should be able to pull away, although I have gone pretty wide there. That's not going to help out too much. So at the end of this lap, then, the gap is 3.1 seconds at half race distance. And that's with the crash as well, so to be honest, it's probably a good thing that we had the crash. It made the race a bit more interesting. We should still pretty easily win this one. But imagine if I took the lead at the end of the first lap. Like, it would have been one of the most boring races of career mode ever. It just baffles me how the AI is so inconsistent. I know I always say this, whenever I have a race like this where I'm massively quicker, that usually is what the video ends up being about, is how slow the AI are at this track and how inconsistent they are. But at the last round, they were genuinely, they had our number, they were quicker than me at Portimao, and I was on the limit that I could just about keep in the fight. I could keep up with the AI, but they were quicker than me, and that's on 120% difficulty. And you know what? On 120%, that's probably right. They probably should be quicker than me, and I probably should be on the limit. And, you know, if I can't keep up with them, then I can turn them down, you know, if I'm miles at the back of the pack, for example. But a track like this, all of a sudden, I'm now 4 seconds up the road in a lap, basically, or a lap and a half. It's ridiculous. I'm not riding any better, probably riding worse, if anything, because I haven't done any practice, really. I did a little race to test the AI difficulty, but in Portimao, I did basically a full practice session. I had 2 qualifying sessions, and then I was on the limit basically the whole race, which maybe was part of the reason why I struggled. Also, I was battling with the AI, so they obviously held my pace back, because it's no coincidence that I immediately went 2 seconds quicker in this race when I got past the AI. They definitely hold you up, because of the way they make their lap time is just completely different to the player. But again, gap is now 7.6 seconds. It just, yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. But fortunately, we only have a few laps to go. Hopefully the battle through the pack was quite enjoyable, but I still can't believe the start. I've had starts like that a couple of times in MotoGP career modes. I think in Moto2 at Mugello last year, we had that on MotoGP 22. I think we might have had it. We had a similar thing in Portimao, actually, didn't we? It wasn't quite as extreme, because I came from maybe more like 14th on the grid to about P4 on the run into turn 1. But yeah, there has been a couple of times where I've gone from the back of the grid to the lead on the run down towards the first corner, because the AI don't use full throttle off the line. They like roll off because they think they're going to hit each other. And I don't think they use the max power mode off the line either, which is obviously a mistake. So, yeah, the AI just are very, very bizarre in lots of different ways. And again, like I said, that's what these races usually turn into. When I'm out front, it turns into me saying how weird the AI are. But update on the AI, Acosta has now taken second position, and I'm now 9 seconds ahead of him. So we should easily get the gap out to 10, maybe 15 seconds by the end of this race. And that's with a crash as well, which just, it's a cherry on top. But either way, still good for us to pick up 25 points early on in the season, because of course, like I said, in the last season in Moto3, that's where we lost out. And especially in the last round, obviously we didn't finish too well, but neither did the people that we're probably going to be fighting for the championship with. So it actually puts us in a really good position if we can win this one. Acosta and Arbolino were both sort of bottom of the top 10 as well. Obviously I was just outside the top 10, but I think they were both outside the top 5, so they didn't pick up massive points either, because of course they both had crashes in the previous race. Sam Lowe's, the championship leader, doesn't seem to be anywhere in this race. I think Cannett's probably the highest championship contender. I believe he was on the podium, but I could be completely making that one up. And I'm pretty sure Renas was on the podium as well. So the top 3 of the championship, not really, again, performing that well in this race. And to be honest, they weren't the quickest in Portimao either. They just didn't have the accident. And Sam Lowe's, I think, got to the front whilst I was holding everybody else up after a couple of crashes. And then he just allowed him to pull away from the rest of AI. Arbolino's back in front of Acosta, though. So there's definitely a battle going on behind between those two. So if those two take more time out of each other, well, I say that helps me, but I don't think I exactly need them to hold each other up for me to pull away. But maybe if they can knock each other down a few positions, that's what would help me out. If they could hold each other up to the point where Salac and Agora can attack them, that helps me out massively. Oh, a bit of a wheelie there over the crest. So here we are then, about to start the final lap of the race. We actually just done the fastest lap of the race, a 41.5 once again. Actually was pushing in the early part of the lap for the fastest lap, but you can see we're in massive trouble with the fuel, so I actually turned the fuel mode down, and unfortunately that did cost us. Well, it didn't actually cost us because we did go quicker, but I think we could have probably done a sub 1 minute 41. But my plan, well, not my plan, but my theory seems to have sort of come to fruition. They battled too hard, and Acosta's now down to 4th place, so Acosta has been bumped off the podium by Philip Salac, which I think is probably the worst of the two, because I think Arbolino actually finished better at Portimao as well, so really it should have been the other way around. I prefer it if Acosta was in front of Arbolino. But either way, if Salac could try and overtake Arbolino, that would be ideal. But even if he doesn't, still gaining 5 points back on Arbolino and 25 points on, well, maybe not 25 points on Sam Lowe's, because I've just seen him there in P8, but we're gaining a healthy margin on Sam Lowe's. We should close up to him quite a bit in the championship. It will actually be interesting to see who leads this, because obviously I won't, because Lowe's obviously is going to be ahead of me still, so there'll definitely be at least one rider. It's probably going to be Arbolino with a 2nd place and wherever he finished the last one, but it's going to be pretty close. It's definitely going to be close in this championship, so I guess we'll find out in a few corners' time. The front tyre has absolutely gone now. The bike is pretty horrendous through that left-hander, which is strange because actually it's gone more on the right, but it doesn't actually seem quite as bad in the right-handers. But here we are into the penultimate turn. Oh, saving the front. And here we go through the last corner. Coming up towards the line then, it's our first win in Moto2. So there we go then, winning by 13.3 seconds in the end. We actually didn't get the fastest lap because it seems like the AI simulated times have taken that away from us. But it's crazy because they weren't even anywhere near. A 44 was a good lap time for the AI in the race. And you can see all these guys have now got 41s as their fastest laps, 42s. They were absolutely nowhere near that in the race. If they actually had that kind of pace, I'd have been in trouble because I wasn't in the 41s for most of the race. Although in fairness, I probably could have dropped that pace if I needed to. I just didn't because of how far they were behind us. But interestingly enough, Acosta must have hit some sort of tyre troubles because he dropped down to 6th place. You can see 4 tenths behind Vietti in 4th place. So those three there, Vietti, Lopez and Acosta, were very, very close. But Acosta go from like 2nd place to 6th in the space of a couple of laps. Maybe 3rd place if we say Arbolino overtook him a while ago, but his race really dropped off quite badly there. And to be fair, he was only 1.6 off Arbolino, so that whole pack was pretty close. They were pretty much one long pack aside from a couple of stragglers off the back. But that's massive for Acosta because that's 2 races now where he's not scored very well. And like I said, in Moto3, that cost me. I mean, maybe I wasn't scoring 6th places still. I was probably like scoring no points at all. So I suppose he's still picking up some points. But as someone that's going to be a championship contender, 2 finishes outside of the top 5 in the first 2 races, not a great way to start the championship. Speaking of the championship then, Sam Lowe's actually still leads the championship, but he's tied on points with Tony Arbolino in 2nd place. So a super, super close championship. Mark VDS 1st and 2nd, but both joint 1st, really. But of course, Lowe's leading on the countback of winning the race at Portimao. I've been 3rd place in the championship there, making it 2 Brits in the top 3. Canet is in 4th, so I was right. Canet was actually in the top 3. Vietti stays put in 5th place. Aranas drops down 4 places to 6th position, so again, I was right about the top 3. And Acosta stays in 7th place, still behind his teammates, so 14 points off the championship lead. Probably not too bad, actually. So for Acosta, having 2 rough races so far, actually has gone away pretty well, because the rest of us haven't had the best races either. We're all very, very close. I suppose it is round 2 of the championship, so I was about to say, oh, there's only 20 points covering the top 9, but I guess there is literally only been 2 races, so it's pretty much expected. I mean, Salach is 8th place, and he didn't score in the first race because he's moved up 16 places. So, yeah, it really does show in this early stage it's pretty volatile, but Acosta showing some signs of weakness already. As for the Teams Championship then, of course, might be DS lead. First or second in the Riders' Championship, it would be impossible for them to not be leading. 66 points, they've both brought 33, but Red Bull KTM IO in 2nd place, Pons in 3rd, ourselves moving up to 4th place, and Grassini moving up to 5th. So we may as well head back to the Career Hub now then and have a look at the social media feed. We'll probably have some interesting messages on there since it is our first race win in Moto 2. And we may have annoyed a couple of people going through the pack potentially as well. So I guess we'll have to find out when we get there. So there we go then, gained quite a bit of RP in this one, 12,100. We got 10,000 for finishing in the top 15 and 2,000 for a race win. That's pretty ridiculous that you get 10,000 for just finishing in the top 15, which is pretty easy to do generally, unless you're having a really, really stinker of a weekend. But you can see we're very, very close now to remarkable. So one more good race like that and we'll be in there, and I think that probably will get us some MotoGP offers for the next season. And here we are then back in the Career Hub. You can see we have got 3 messages. 2 of them look like they're from Joe Roberts, 1 from Tony Arbolino, so let's have a look what they say. So Robert's saying, it wasn't a good race. We didn't want to end up behind Biker, but that's the way it went. We'll make up for it in Texas. So we'll be nice to him. So it was a good race. The result shows how hard the team have worked. Hopefully we can try and keep this up for the next race, and we'll say that. And that's now taken him up to green. And then Joe Roberts congratulating us on our first win in Moto 2. And again, of course, we are going to say something really nice to him. Thank you. It's an amazing feeling. And now Joe Roberts, our teammate, is going to really like us. And an Arbolino, we're finally racing at Texas. The fans here give me a fantastic boost. I'm sure I'll finish ahead of everyone. So this is on our feed, but isn't actually directed at us. So this would be us sort of just commenting on his tweet, I guess. But I mean, he is saying it's going to finish ahead of everyone. But for now, we will be cordial. I'll say I don't want to break up a party, but we'll see who gets left behind. And that actually, apparently that makes him like us. I feel like that's a bit of an insult, but these things are a little bit weird sometimes, the social media responses. But there you go then. That is the second round of our Moto 2 season done. I do apologise once again that the race is perhaps a bit more dull. Not much I can do about it. Hopefully the next round at Austin should be quite interesting. I think they're quite strong at Austin, if I remember from Dill's career mode in Moto 2. I could be wrong, but I feel like they were quite good there, so we'll have to see. Although that was probably pre-patch, the patch that slowed them down originally, so you never can be 100% sure that they're still going to be the same. But yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy that one. If you are new to the channel, please do like the video and subscribe. It really helps me out, and of course it is a win-win for both of us as you get more bike game racing content in your subscription feed. But I hope you do enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you'll stay safe, and I shall see you in the next one.